Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 32, 18, Doubleshot 31, 12. Alright, we have another trade for Witchblade. Now, basically, I'm also doing a trade for Darkness. Surprisingly, for some weird reason, I'm not sure why, the website I used doesn't have the previous couple trades. Not really sure why, but that's kind of is here. So, first we have Witchblade, Borne Again, Volume 1. And sadly put, I can't use this as a thumbnail for this one because YouTube might flag it for being too offensive. Despite the fact the cover is a homage to a cover from Uncanny X-Men. Yes, I think it was like 251, I believe it was. 51, 55. It was a cover featuring Wolverine on an X-shaped cross. A cover that was actually used for a brief scene in Deadpool Wolverine. So, we have a brand new writer for this book, Ron Martz. Okay. And it's called Borne Again, basically just another. I don't think it's a Rebirth. I don't think so. So we have Laura Braga on the artwork. First edition, the cover art is done by Mark Silvestri, one of her co-creators, Sonny Gu, and Steven Sajic. The original cover, book designs by John Chen and Alan Duke. This book contains issues 170 through 174. And by the way, these issues were released in 2001. Yes. Despite the fact the book actually ended not long after that. So in a way, we have Sarah back in New York, but not in New York City. Nope. She is in upstate New York. She's left Chicago after being there for, how long was she there for? I think she was there for about 19 issues. Yeah, she came to Chicago in 151, left in 179. Yes. So, mostly put, basically, we have her still kind of as a, let's see. Okay, so here she's actually a sheriff now. Not a private investigator like she was under Tim Seeley. Here she's a sheriff. I guess a step up. And of course she gets arguing with the mayor. Yeah, and of course the mayor is like being very much, I think is like, this thing is like, it's pointed out though the murder did not happen in the city limit, it happened outside the city, which means county jurisdiction, not city. Instant, not actually within town lines, which is why the sheriff's department has jurisdiction here. Right here, happened in my town. Mayor McGuire. You're supposed to be this hotshot big city cop. Experience what we have with 3 bodies in many weeks. Mayor McGuire, behind this when you stop. Mayor McGuire, you need to get your finger out of my face, or I will break it off and stick up your butt. Did you just threaten me? No, I promised. You. Yeah, I'm a public servant. It's like, then stick your finger up your elected butt. Do something. That's why I pay you. Please, Mayor. Yeah, I agree. He's an a-hole. Yeah, so, and then, of course, basically, talk to Kate, like, so then, of course, that she looks at the head, and she briefly sees that the head belongs to Jackie, a.k.a. the will of darkness. And then, for some weird reason, presumably, she may have killed Jackie, maybe for taking away her daughter. And then a flashback to 2 years prior to this, where she's waking up, I'm guessing it's a hotel room, or motel room, presumably, where apparently and of course we have a bud shop, because Sarah's hot, and she looks at basically the witch, like, what do you think you're doing? It's almost like she can't control the Witchblade for some reason, not sure why. Apparently started drinking, started a barroom fight, and nearly kills a man by chopping his hand off with a Witchblade. And apparently, the Witchblade doing things on its own. Then talks to patients, and then we see the Magdalena basically wants to get rid of the Witchblade, and then we cut back to Saratoga County. Those of you curious though, have I been to this area when I visited New York? Kind of, yes. I've been to Fort Ticonderoga. That I think that's kind of this area here. I know it's up to New York. I know that. So I've never been to the battlefield per se. That's Battle of Saratoga, which is a very famous American Revolution battlefield, which basically Benedict Arnold was in this particular battle, and during this famous battle, like, he couldn't participate in it because the commanding general decided to confine him to his tent out of pure pettiness. And this general later proclaimed to be the hero of the battle despite the fact he basically hid in his own tent. So, what did Benedict Arnold do? He basically cut himself out of his own tent and participated in the battle and got injured and was kept out of report because of it. Yeah, Benedict Arnold was basically very petty. He was very vengeful toward the American Revolution soldiers when he finally betrayed the country due to him felt being wronged, per se. That's why that's how I feel this, though. But yeah, the guy was a freaking traitor. Because the guy tried to secrets to the enemy. Moving on. Now, those are thinking, do I support Benedict Arnold? No, I don't support his treason. I do support basically him should get a little more limelight, but the thing is, they can't exactly bring him up very much in real life because the man basically, from what I heard, after he betrayed the country, guess what they did to his family's stuff in New London? I heard they practically took away the gravestones that mention anything about his family because traitor, and he moved to London where he later died penniless. Yeah, that's what you get That's what you get for protecting the country, being penniless because he married a loyalist. Yes, believe it or not, his second wife was a loyalist. Those of you who are curious, what is a loyalist? A loyalist is basically a person who lived in the U.S. at the time when it was the colonies and basically support the crown, side of the British. They are not on the side of the American Revolution. They're against it. They basically want the British to still do what they want to do. That's the whole thing of being a loyalist. Basically what they refer to as rebels, aka revolutionaries, are people who basically, help form what we now know as the United States. Yes, and I'm so glad, basically, our current president is getting rid of Common Core because Common Core tried to erase that particular factoid because, they think that Common Core thinks American history starts in post-Reconstruction, even though it doesn't. It does not at all. Yeah, I hope, basically, when kids basically get a chance to learn who, outside of Florida, because Florida didn't have Common Core, because basically the government got rid of it. I know talk about politics, but yeah, hope when basically the other states basically realize, oh crap, these kids are like, oh crap, there's actually more U.S. history than basically we're told. Yeah. I heard also at one point they actually went to limit the basic U.S. history down to like 1976 or something. It was a rumor I heard, which was really stupid. Yeah, Common Core was really dumb when it was first introduced. I saw how they did math, and I blurted it out during a demonstration of it, and I'm like, this is silly. This is so freaking, I didn't say dumb, but I said this was silly. And surprisingly, everybody agreed with me, because that looked really silly. The way Common Core did math was basically doing tic-tac-toe, which I'm like, that's not how you solve a multiplication problem, make it more complicated than it already is. So, yeah. More investigators and Sarah gets shot by somebody wearing a gun that It's weirdly shaped. She's shot in the gut, and then she's found by her deputy shot. And that happens at the end of part 1. And of course, she's in the hospital. I'm like, so the sheriff gets shot, and you think that it looks bad for reputation? Why? Because you two don't like each other? Yeah, if he was a public official, basically, I would punch him in the face and be a massive dick. Yeah. So, then they retrieve the bullet, and the bullet looks eerily similar to a piece of the Witchblade. So it's like somebody using the magic of the Witchblade to shoot Sarah. And now she's in a coma. And then we cut back to 2 years prior to this in the Cloisters Museum, which I have been here. I visited here in 2011. And I was very disappointed. Oh my gosh. This place was okay. Fun fact, did you know over Nightwing, Dick Grayson was once the curator of this museum? Yes. Yes, he was. In a rundown by Peter J. Tomasi, which was collected in trade paperback because DC didn't bother to finish collecting that run. They're not new compendiums now for some reason, so... Scott Mutant, of course, they have a flashback to, and we see Daniel Baptiste, who actually was a host of the Darkness. We see he also mentioned about Hope Pasali, who is Sarah's daughter, who, in the current timeline, Jackie basically erased it, basically altered where she was never a mother in the first place because I don't think that he trusted her. Oh yeah, so the woman's name is Rodney. So then we have this guy apparently like, so despite the fact Sarah's with the sheriff, we have a guy basically stepping in because Sarah's in the hospital, and there's a shootout, and probably it's filling in the course, and the deputy guarding her gets shot, and then we have some guy show up with this weird tattoo in his back, try to kill her, and then she just slices at Rodney, slices her arm. She's like, who are you? I am the willow who possesses blade. This blade possesses me. I am the silhouette light eternal. Turns out Psycho Killer is crazy. And then this guy in armor, like this big, huge, what the heck? So apparently this is Angelus. Yes, this thing is Angelus just busts through a wall like he's a freaking Kool-Aid man. Like, Neil kind of like, what? And then, of course, basically, like, where they sacrifice, and apparently, like, this is the guy who shot Sarah, and the knife turns into the stuff related to Witchblade, and then he gets stabbed by the Angelus. The balance. The darkness is no more. Angelus controls all. Soon balance. You serve no purpose to the host. I thought angels were supposed to be good guys. They're not angels, Rodney. And then Angelus is shot in the head by Sarah. They should have held out the good guys. Yeah, she woke up, she out of coma. And then, of course, basically, then they try to remove then, of course, Megan's trying to remove the Witchblade, but it's not working. And then some guy takes a piece of it. And he's going to go Tom Judge, like, the darkness apparently is a little more, like, you're probably thinking, what the heck is this guy talking about? Is Jackie dead? It's implied Jackie might be dead, but who knows? And then apparently Angel's Realm, where it's controlled by this female angel who has green wings. Yes. Yeah. This person failed, and moving on to part 4, which I think this actually is in issue 173. And then it cuts to the Vatican and the Magicana, yeah. And she kills a failed serp. And of course, then apparently. So, this woman here is responsible for creating the Witchblade. At least probably was the previous host of it. So, then get practicing aim. Huh. I think his mom doing trimming at 8:30 at night. Like, I don't know why she do that for. Yep. So, everything's back now for her. And then the Angelus realm. At least a version of it. Like, powerful. And, like, she's a ruler. Yeah, and of course can't feel Juicy. Yeah, can't resume his duties as sheriff for. That's why she's fully recovered. Decision is final. If you're ready to resume his duties, sure. There's no way you can justify the decision. Pinch here is admirable to serious. You haven't seen more incidents because Rodney took down those psychopaths who were killing people. Let's face it, the only thing Pincher's is good for is propping up the hat. No offense, Kevin. At least be man up to admit you want me to be gone instead of hiding behind the bullcrap. Behind this bullcrap. I don't know what you're talking about. As far as concerned, disbehavior is more evidence. Serious. I'm the mayor. Decision is final. Yeah, you'll continue to have pay recovery until or you can resign. Your choice. Yes, Mayor. We're not done. Not even close. Good time for you. Get away, Weasel. Nothing. Don't turn back to me, McGuire. We're done when I have my job again. You seem confused around town. Right now? Your cronies who review complaints. You can bear it. Right now. Betsy? This has nothing to do with you. You could say that. Yes, of course he shows up. Yes, the leader of the Angels shows up. It's like, what'd you bring to our town? It's called the Angelus. Apparently it's like, what? Me. So what are you going to do? What is sheriff supposed to do? Protect the town. You know what? Have the host Witchblade, basically the sheriff of your town. All because basically you're so petty against me because she's a freaking woman. Yeah, try harder. And she basically fights against and gets stabbed once again. Poor thing, one more time, you want something? You reach out and take it. Go through hell. Keep it. And then apparently she gets past the piece of the Witchblade apparently was taken from her. It's like, ooh, right on your waist. Sheds are closed. Would you kill us if we're getting Witchblade? No. To keep it in your hands. I guess the Witchblade can heal wounds. Why would we care about such a thing? We need to heal you. We need to resurrect you. New host, right? Someone told you you can't do much harm to Witchblade. What are you talking about? Witchblade is the balance. It's the offspring of Angelus and the darkness. What parent could truly harm their child? Tell me who you are, your host, who you really are. Jenny? There's only one Angelus, light. Extinguish. Yes, like fine by me. Yeah, right? Witchblade has patched me up more times than I can count Rodney. If I think. I'm not sure I understand what that was. I'm not sure any of this. Come back, Princey? Probably usually does. I don't think I want this anymore. Pretty sure you'd deserve it anymore if I did. McGuire? Fine. Yes, fine, it's yours. It's always mine. Being sheriff. My first special act as sheriff again is my owe you that none of this ever happened. Ronnie Pitcher, I went to boat early in the morning. We still a lot of work. Yes. It's never happened. Yes. So yeah, we introduced basically new town, and like I do like the fact this book also includes basically a brief recap of the Top Cow, recap the history of this universe, with the exception of Tomb Raider, which they don't mention here, but a lot of the other characters here include Dan Baptiste, Hope, all the other characters. Really cool the fact that they include this. Gotta admit, this trade here was really good. I'd say this is probably was a lot better what Tim Seeley was doing. Nothing against Tim Seeley, the guy is a good writer. Just that wasn't a good fan of his Witchblade stuff. I give book roughly 9 out of 10. Book was really good in this center. Next up, we have from David Hayne, good writer. We have The Darkness Rebirth, Volume 1. This book contains issues 101 to 105 of The Darkness. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, last issue review was issue 89. Why? Because they don't have the trade paperback on here, that's why. Oh, that's why. So yeah, they do credit for Garth Ennis, Mark Fisher with Warhol. David Hayne does the writing artwork with Jeremy Hahn. So, stories in here are Reborn, The Crack and Everything, which is 5 parts. Reborn is a short thing just to bring back the fact, that Angelus is that basically that the darkness is back. And then move on to The Crack is Everything, where Jackie is like back, he's with his girl Jenny. Yeah, stuff happened, and the stuff with the darkness. And of course, basically, he's still the host of it, surprisingly. And at one point, we finished up his little time with darkness, and he proceeds to walk upstairs to his bedroom, butt naked, get dressed, put on a suit, and sees his daughter, Hope, who is also Sarah's daughter as well. Though Hope does remember that because Jackie wiped her memory of Sarah. All because Sarah, apparently he was convinced, no, more importantly, it's more like the Witchblade tried to murder Hope. I think it was the Witchblade itself tried to murder Hope, not Sarah. Yeah, you're probably thinking, like, why would Sarah want to murder her own child? The way it's shown there in that flashback by Tim Seeley. I think it's the Witchblade getting out of control, and that's what caused to do that. And it's kind of implied that possibly that the way Ron Martz set it up there is that possibly that the series that book is set 2 years after Tim Seeley's run. That's why they're coming out like around 2001. So then Jackie 2 does weird things, hangs out with Jenny. Well, apparently he's in the future where she died. And Hope is here for some reason. And by the way, there's no crossovers here with the Witchblade. Nope. None. It's all focused in the darkness. Does that find interesting, though, that a lot of the stuff associated with this universe was introduced in the darkness? Because Jackie first showed Witchblade, and stuff like Angelus, Magnus, all showed up in the pages of the darkness. Not Witchblade, the darkness. I always find that kind of weird that a lot of the stuff associated with the universe shows up in the spin-off Witchblade, not in the main book. So you could kind of say that the darkness helped shape the universe. It kind of did. When it comes to Top Cow. Yep. Of course, Hope has if she's real. And then we went to 103, and we see a very gross dead body in Grand George. And of course, Jackie fighting somebody. There's a cat being possessed. Yeah, it feels like Pet Sematary here. It is interesting, though, that Hope is a supporting character in this book, not in her mom's book, per se, or just in her father's book. There's some mob stuff here, but not as much as once was. And then we see where Hope is... something is happening to her hand, where it looks like it's being affected with something. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. And it's spreading up her arm. And then we see some dead bodies, which... yeah, the artist decided to show a dick. Because of course it did, because... So then they mentioned Daniel Baptiste. And apparently they'd never heard of it in Gleason. So apparently they're trying to... So these two... Yeah, this is apparently Daniel Baptiste and Gleason. Yes, Gleason was Sarah's boyfriend. First apartment and boyfriend during a really good run for Witchblade. We started issue 80, by the way. So, we have Morso on here. We have Jenny just hanging out with Hope. Basically, in this old time, I don't know who basically Jackie made her mother, but her mother is still Sarah. Despite alteration timeline, says wise. And then we see a copy of Jackie, where it looks like she is having sex with a copy of Jackie. Oh yeah, and she's butt naked. Or maybe it's a flashback. I think it might be a flashback, and then Hope arm gets really weird. You could say a lot of this book is a little bit set up for what this run's going to be, but yeah, then it's like Jackie, and he's like looking at it, and he's like, and she takes off top of her dress, and then she's butt naked, Paul just pushing away, and then these two just have sex again. Yes, that's one thing interesting with the start of their run, basically, and then apparently the darkness just transforms into Jackie becomes the darkness. And that's kind of it here. Kind of a weird book per se. But I'm going to give the book roughly 8 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it, particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up is going to be, well, My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Okay, next video. Bye.